Hello. Hello. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just talking about how we're gonna prep the car for Drift Week and for the 2021 competition season, Pro-Am. Ta-da! I took the engine out, I took the transmission out. Obviously, want to go look through those things because we were about to ask several thousand miles of street driving from the car, and I want to make sure everything is mint. But today our goal is to take the fuel tank out and take the battery box out. We're gonna go and change a bunch of stuff around to make fuel not as much of a concern for Drift Week, and have a better reserve capacity from the battery if something were to happen. I just have like a tiny motorcycle battery in there right now. Power steering pump or a surge tank with another fuel pump running to it, just stuff like that. So trying to build ahead while I do this. I'm already pissed that I have to do it again. I should have just done a bigger tank from the get, but I didn't think I'd be trying to do these crazy things. So yeah, here we go. This little battery, like when it's this cold outside, is not so happy about having to deliver power when I need it. I've had problems with hot restarts. I've had problems in the off season getting the car on and off the trailer just because there's not enough juice for the battery, from the battery to run the starter and the rest of the car at the same time. And then the next part of it is the weight. I actually want to add some weight to the rear of the car for when I'm competing. I try to get more grip over this corner specifically. This rear corner is somewhere like 80 to 90 pounds lighter than this one on the scales, and I just want to have a little bit more shifted this way to compensate for this side of the car being almost empty when I'm racing it. But yeah, having that bigger battery helps for a lot of things, especially like down the road. I plan on adding nitrous to the car, so I have to have power to run those solenoids. I have to have power to run a new ECU that can data log. You know, if I want to add any other cool trick stuff to the car, we're just trying to run those things right off the alternator is probably not the smart play. It's not the smart guy move. This battery tray is a really trick piece that I like because it's modular. It comes apart. It's easy to work with because of that, easy to set up. Unfortunately, I can't reuse it. This battery and this setup was originally on top of the trans tunnel behind the driver's seat. Hopefully I can get this moved along to somebody who can utilize it. It's a good way, it's not a bad way to do this. And it's actually part of the rules. If you put the battery inside the car, they want you with a sealed and vented box. And once the battery lets go, you have whatever internal components are going to get scattered, burn and scar flesh and melt holes and stuff. So not the ideal scenario, obviously.
Yeah.
One thing that you should do with any battery setup, especially in like a tray like this, the batteries have plastic casings, and you know, this is an aluminum box, so stuff, if there's vibrations or chafing, it might start to wear a hole and stuff, or might wreak havoc on the cells. So make like a rubber insulator for the battery to sit on. This I made out of an old silicone coupler. I just measured a rough shape and I put this underneath the battery. Smart, maybe wasting time, I don't know, depends on who you talk to. Up next, let's get this fuel tank out of here. I'm so not excited about this. You know how much work this is?
No.
I'm gonna get either a 15 or a 12 gallon cell, and instead of it being here back in like where the trunk pen area used to be, I'm actually gonna try and put it, if you look down, put it where the stock tank used to sit, which is in here. This is where the stock fuel pump hat would sit on an S14, and the fuel cell, the stock fuel tank, actually sits here and kind of goes under the rear seat area. Obviously you can see with this bar here, this reinforces my strut towers from side to side. you wouldn't be able to get the fuel pump and fuel pump hat out of the car with this in place. But now that I'm moving the cell further inboard and like in this space, I'm probably just gonna have to cut that out altogether because it's like super in the way. I'm not really sure yet, but not looking forward to it. I really hate doing shit twice. Plans and priorities change and you can't predict the future, so kind of is what it is. This vent line is janky as hell. I actually did this because before I just had it open in the trunk, and with this being like semi-enclosed, it used to just spit fume everywhere, and like I couldn't actually breathe in the car because it just smelled like gas so bad. Oh. So I added this and I looped it around to keep fuel from being spit out, and then this just stuck out behind through the floor pan. This is one of those things that was supposed to be like temporary but became permanent because it works so good, so I'm gonna do something nicer for next time for sure. But if you're in a pinch and you have fumes in the car, you could do this to get you by. It's not the best, but it works. I don't know if it's exactly tech legal, but no one ever gave me grief about it. So before you do something like this, just double check with whoever's running your events for tech regulations.
Check the rule book.
Yeah, it's really dumb to go to a track day, especially somewhere far away,
and you get shut down.
Yeah, because you failed tech. Like, you're just stupid at that point. Because you don't know how to think and you didn't read. I think that's all that's holding that thing in place, actually. Because I only have the 2 supports, I should be able to pull this up. I wonder how much gas is in here. It's probably heavy as shit. Oh yeah, it's full of gas. Okay. No, it's not. It's just really stuck. Okay. There's definitely gas in here though. Oh boy. Okay. Oh god.
Oh, she's dirty.
Ew. Oh boy. Okay, there's gas in there. Whew. See all this hard work? Gotta cut it out now because I'm smart.
I think of it more as like you're reiterating.
Wasting time? Yeah.
No, you're reiterating for better design.
Yeah, I'm wasting time. Right.
No, it's you just explained it before. It's better to balance out that side of the car if you put the fuel cell over there.
Is it better? I don't know. I'm just trying to make myself feel better about spending money that I didn't have to spend.
I'm trying to make him feel better about spending money you didn't have to spend. Yeah, I know.
As you can see, the garage is an absolute train wreck. Parts have just been showing up faster than I can get things done. I haven't been able to really work on anything the past week. I lost power in the garage. I think the last time I was just cutting out the fuel cell. Pat, one of my buddies, came over. We cut out the rear glass. As you can see, the fuel cell, instead of being in that hole right there, where is it? There it is now all the way up here. Evan at Function Motorsports hooked it up, got me caught up with my fuel cell cradle. He did a really good job getting this massive fuel tank to fit all up inside here, which is not an easy task because right underneath the fuel cell, it actually it's so tall that it sits basically on top of the diff. I have a little bit of finishing work to do, nothing crazy. I'm going to make a template here from that piece of cardboard to make a rear window out of lexan, and that's kind of my plan for the moment. I also want to give a big thank you to Corey for hooking me up with a bunch of really neat JDM bits for the car. You probably can't tell, but this is a pair of factory rain guards. When I'm going on drift week, I can crack the window and I get water all over my face. Not really into that. So another one of the things I plan on doing, you can kind of see here, this flange and then the one on the other side actually sit nice and level with this, like the factory glass would. And then it kind of does this curve and taper, doesn't come up to the same level as this. And that's not really a problem. I mean, Evan did this and he was in a pinch for time. He made this accommodation last minute for me. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to take a strip of inch wide steel and just kind of go across to the other side over there. And I'm going to tie it into this with some more 16 gauge or so. And then this is going to be one flange in essence that goes across for the window to mount to. So I guess I'm gonna mock this up now, just in the rough shape, so I have an idea of what I'm gonna cut in terms of size for the windshield length. And now I'm gonna measure. So 57 inches long and 17 inches tall. That's what we're going with for the rough guess here. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do to mount the window. I know what shape it needs to be roughly, but in terms of actual fasteners, I see some guys that glue it in. I'd rather not rely on adhesive. I'd rather use like a traditional fastener, like a M6 Allen key or button cap. Like before I even go ahead and mount this, I'm gonna have to go and get the old urethane off here, because I won't even really be able to measure this accurately with this in place, because this, you know, has a dimension upward. It also has a dimension this way, so it might inhibit the windscreen from actually sitting flat against this this window frame. And ideally, I'd like to get it bare. You know, down here is not so critical. I'm not mounting anything down here. I'm going to clean it up still, but yeah, I want to get as close to the metal as I can here to get that to fit properly. What I might do is I might leave this full length here and give myself space in the lexan for me to cut. Like, I know what my dimensions are roughly on the skeleton and the way I want to cut it, but I think I'm going to go and give myself even more room by cutting down to here. So now we get to go bother Pat, because that's where the lexan is at. So instead of going and putting the holes starting at the first one in the center, I went and I offset them so that I have like an even number across the top. I don't know, I don't like to put the first bolt on center. It's just a personal build preference thing, I guess. I got to trim up the sides to get this to fit in the window frame properly. Then I can better mock up how I want to make the lower flange. So, ta-da! This has been a project that's been pushing me to my wit's end. I keep getting to it like after work, get frustrated. I've messed up a couple drill holes, and you can see like there's some waves in here. I need to address how to deal with those, but the main structure of this is just about complete. I just need to make the rail that's going to go from here to there to tie the bottom half of the window. This centerpiece is a little bit too far. Like, this is about a 3-inch gap from here to the glass, and it's a little bit too far to me to try to make something that follows that space, so I'm just going to go straight across. Don't really have a lot of time to spend on this. I'm just trying to do the best and do my best to make it look semi-presentable. I want it to look tidy, but I also don't have the time or the resources. Let's be honest, I don't have the resources to make this like a factory fit, factory finish type thing. I would love to have a rear window vacuum formed to the shape of the factory glass and work from that, but that would require a giant oven that I don't have access to, potentially 2 rear windows for me to mold from. Or even if I were to just buy it, I think Optic Armor still sells a rear window for these cars, and they're really expensive, and I don't want to buy one just to cut it up to bits. And if I make a mistake, then it's game over, and I just, you know, wasted $600 on something that I turned into garbage essentially. Guys, this is David.
What up?
He takes all of my mistakes and fixes them.
Something like that.
How many bumpers has it been at this point?
Oh man, probably. Well, it's been the same one like 3 or 4 times, and then Yeah, probably 5, 6, something like that.
And like 10 repairs on those rear spats.
Yeah, literally those same rear spats. Like,
I blow up a tire, I look at the track the wrong way, and I fucking annihilate these fiberglass rear spats. And he brings them back from the dead every time.
yes, sir. Try my best.
Yeah.
Try my best.
Young homie over here, Dave, he works for Super Life.
Yes, sir.
That's Kamal, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they do some of the nicest bodywork show car stuff in the area. And
He does. I do my best to help him out wherever I can.
don't let him downplay his skills. I've given this kid absolute garbage bumpers and they come back flawless. So, yeah, we're actually going to start tackling here. This rear firewall I have made I made lots of progress on. I have not filmed any of it because I'm a super scumbag and I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing with the car that I forget that I have to film stuff. So we have it all complete now. This is welded in its final position. We have this all sealed off with silicone. We didn't want to use like a fireproof caulking or something because that stuff gets super rigid and it'll vibrate and eventually fall out. So we're using a high temp black silicone, sealed up the gaps with this metal tape over top just to help make sure that there's no way for this to pass through. The rear glass is made. And yeah, we're gonna start buzzing this up and getting it painted so that we can keep jamming on other stuff while this is drying. All right, so not only is David really good at fiberglass, he's also a genius.
I wouldn't say that.
He showed me a really quick and easy way to get this whole thing masked up. What we did was he took the whole sheet of the plastic over there, drew it over the car, and then we cut out the section that we're not utilizing, and we're even masking up the inside. I was just gonna say, to hell with it, you know, we die like men. And he said, no, don't do that. There's like a nice way to do this so it's easy to clean up, and this is what we have now. So we're gonna get our metal etch spray. It's muriatic acid, I think. I don't know, so my friend Pat gave it to me. He uses it to prep raw steel, saves you from having to prime it. This will make a nice durable coating that you can spray on, help etch the raw steel instead of having to scuff it and waste a lot of time physically roughing up the surface. Just killed that can of paint. I messed up on the end because it kind of spit shit out everywhere, but yo, can you put the light on the
Yeah.
I mean, this is just one coat so far and it looks like it's
Covered really good.
yeah, no, I'm actually really happy with how this covers for a spray can. It almost covers, has like a nice feathery kind of spray pattern.
Yeah.
And like, this is stuff I literally bought at AutoZone. If you guys know what Steal It paint is, this is, let me shut the music off so I don't get a flag on my fucking video. This is one of those weldable paints, like Steal It. It's got 316L particles in it, and what that is like powdered stainless steel essentially. So if I need to add anything to it, I can weld directly to it. It won't be as pretty as like raw steel, but it's good for like quick add-ons or something that you have to do when it paints and you don't feel like recoating something. This would be something you would use if you were to, instead of using like a weld through primer, if you wanted something a little more durable. So I'm really happy so far.
Yeah.
Would you use this stuff?
Sure. If I had a race car.
So no, he would not use this stuff because his car is much prettier.
It seems like it's very
I would use this on chassis stuff for sure.
For I can't even put the right words, like purpose, like shit like this, like good stuff. Seems like it's working really well, so we'll see. We'll throw another fatter coat on top of it and see how it turns out.
And if you're wondering what the deal is with the shop vac, this is obviously just a home garage, so we don't have a downdraft system in here. And this paint, most silver paints are like super dusty. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. And them using this as like a downdraft kind of ghetto air ventilation thing. It still smells like paint in here, obviously, because it's not like going outside, but it's at least minimizing the overspray. Like we don't have much of a cloud in here at all. So.
Yeah, no, it's good. Plus, we're spraying right next to another car, so.
Yeah, this is my dad's baby. He loves this more than he loves me, and I don't blame him because that's actually really rare. The paint on this is like a five stage paint. This is black mica pearl.
Nice, and we're spraying directly next to it.
Hey, okay. It's got a fresh filter, all right. I guarantee you, there's no dust on that. Actually, this just got waxed, so I'm not too worried about it. It got waxed before it got stored. So this is gonna die, and this is probably it for this segment. But thanks.